Good afternoon. How many of you have ever stayed overnight in an Airbnb that's not your own? Whoa! Okay. How many of you have stayed overnight like at a friend's or a relative's? I would conclude that all of us have had the experience of staying in someone else's home. Can you imagine doing that every night for 2 years? We certainly couldn't when we started this journey, but indeed we have, and it has been a wonderful ride.
Thank you, Chip and Airbnb, for inviting us to speak today on behalf of 60 million guests. Michael and I have split them. He's got 30, I've got 30. But you know, 3 years ago, we hadn't even heard of Airbnb. We didn't know what it was. So we could not have imagined being in this room, in this tent, telling you our senior nomad story. But we got to a place where we were ready to talk about retirement. We both loved our jobs. I owned a graphic design company for almost 30 years. Michael was a successful sports promoter. But it was time to think about what retirement might look like, at least for now. We might go back to work after we spend all this money traveling, who knows? But we just weren't sure what we wanted to do next.
We've been married for 37 years. We have 4 adult children. Bravo! 5 grandchildren, and we just have been so incredibly blessed. Yet we started to think, well, maybe in our golden years, maybe we would do even more fun things, and there would be more fun things for us to do in the future. We're not rich, but we're comfortable. We're lifelong learners, and we're healthy, and we're curious. And I think those are the key things that drove us to set out on this journey.
We knew we had one more adventure in us. We were not ready to settle into our rocking chairs quite yet, although that does look comfortable. So maybe that'll be 10 years from now. But for right now, we just wanted to continue doing some interesting things. As Michael said, we have 4 grown children. One of our children, Mary, lives here in Paris with her French husband. And their 3 young grandchildren. They're 5, 3, and 1. And she was home for Christmas 3 years ago. And around the dinner table, we were talking about retirement and what our plans were. And she looked at us and she said, "You know, Mom, Dad, you really love to travel so much. Why don't you continue? Why don't you consider traveling full time?" And we said, "Well, you haven't looked in the checkbook, sweetheart." But she said, "You know, there's this thing called," well, I'll tell you. She said this. This is what she said. She said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, have you heard about Airbnb?" And we had not.
We definitely had not. And so I got up from my easy chair from watching TV, went into the kitchen, and she opened up her laptop and said, "Here, Dad, you go here, you do this. This is incredible." And I'm going like, this is really interesting. But I just didn't possibly imagine how we would stop working, sell stuff, downsize, and travel the world with our budget and living in someone else's home. But it turns out, after doing some calculations, I love spreadsheets, I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe we could live in your homes for the same amount of money that we would spend if we just kind of stuck it out in Seattle in retirement. So we decided to kind of do the homework. We finally got to the point, we said, let's do it, and off we went. So we downsized. We had garage sales. We sold things. We gave things away. We sold Debbie's beautiful Volkswagen convertible. We sold our sailboat, which we love. We just gave away at garage sales, and finally we took whatever was left and we put it in a little storage unit. And,
so then, in six months later, we said goodbye to the beautiful city of Seattle, where there are 5,000 Airbnb listings, if you care to go there. And that's right. There's a lot of friends here from
Shout
Seattle.
out for Seattle.
That's right. So we were ready to go. Now, Airbnb asked us here for a reason, because I don't know if there's a category yet, but I'm going to be pushing for super guest, because I think that's maybe we qualify. Here's the stats so far, and I know Chip mentioned them, but we've, since the day we left in July 2013, we've been to 45 countries, 125 cities, and we've opened the front door to 82 different Airbnbs that we've called home.
You want to go?
Ready?
Without you, we just could not have done this. First, you opened our home. Oh, I see, yes. Debbie's an art director, and we were invited to speak to the Portland office a month or so ago, and in the swag bag that they gave us were these socks. And she got the crazy idea, let's lay down on our couch, or no, our bed. Well, so we don't have a bed.
All right, we don't have a house, so it doesn't
We don't have a house or a bed.
Go.
Where we were staying, and then our son came over and took this picture, so there you go. All of you opened up your home so we could feel at home 6,000 miles away from Seattle. We slept in your beds. We cooked in your kitchens. We used your coffee makers. We washed your dishes. We knew that we could belong anywhere, and that is just the incredible community that is Airbnb.
I want to go back to front doors for a second. So these are some of the doors that we've opened. We've been to some very interesting buildings. We've been to some beautiful buildings. We've been to some ugly buildings. We've been to some really scary buildings that you might not push the front door open. We've hauled our suitcases up some really unusual staircases, but these are just some of them. There's our first ever Airbnb in Amsterdam. Next is Nicosia. Then we're in Romania. Where's that?
Bulgaria, Sofia.
And then a little tiny door in Italy. And then some of our doors actually float. So there's one in Gozo, there's one in St. Petersburg I couldn't wait to get out of, one in Nicosia, and then the floating one
in Cinque Terre.
And my favorite one that came with a cat. But here's the most unusual front door that we came across. Yeah. There it is, all right. You know, we were brave enough to open that door, so that's the other reason we get to be super guests. That wasn't on their listing, but that is in fact how you got into the lovely apartment that was on the other side, because really we learned quickly that it's what's on the inside that counts, and the welcome you give us that can make even a mediocre or almost scary or very unusual place a really, really special occasion. Woo, that's right.
We made friends all along the way, and we appreciated the emails that we sent from the initial email of making the inquiry all the way till the time we got to your front door. Here's a picture of Enzo, our host in Bari. Shout out for Bari, Italy. After answering our questions, giving us directions, and making sure everything we needed.
Right there. Woo.
Hey, Enzo.
Don't cry.
I won't cry. But you know, the thing we want to make really this one main point: we're not on vacation. We just are living in your homes, one home at a time. That's sort of an interesting concept. We sold our home, so now we have no home. And if we're not in one of your homes, we're staying with family or friends. And it has just been an incredible, incredible journey. Thanks for greeting us in person, teaching us how to live like a local, and all the manuals, and ultimately how to use those damn TV remotes.
It's still complicated. Anywhere in the world you go, why does it take 3 remotes? Okay. We made a great friend in Madrid, in Enrique, and he took us around the neighborhood and introduced us to the shopkeepers in the neighborhood, and even took our Christmas card picture that year. So we've had some really wonderful encounters.
And of course, we've had meals with many, many of you. A Greek barbecue prepared by our host in Athens, a super supper in Marrakesh, a delightful dinner in Moscow, and in Nicosia, which is the capital of the divided Cyprus, Turkish on the north, Greek on the south. We were in Nicosia, right on the border, and our host walked us, through Nicosia, through the border checkpoint, changed our currency, went to an outdoor Turkish restaurant, had lovely kufta lunch, and in the end of the day, wouldn't even let us pay for the lunch. So it's just been, well, what can we say?
Absolutely. And when our hosts aren't cooking our meals for us, I'm cooking in your kitchen. And I apologize right now, because that's what I do. In order to make this budget work, and I really like to cook, so I go to the fresh market, I come home, and I rifle through your pans and your dishes and your cupboards. I try to put everything back where I found it, but I don't always make it. So I'm sorry, but I appreciate all that you have in your kitchens, and I especially love a sharp knife. And I hope that you appreciate that sometimes I have to leave a really nice, expensive bottle of olive oil behind because we can't take it in our luggage.
So I love football, as in soccer, and I went to dozens of matches while we've been on this journey. Many of the hosts helped me get the tickets, so I've seen Barcelona and Real Madrid and Inter and Milan and Firenze and Ajax and others. Every one of them been a great adventure, but two were particularly outstanding I'll tell you quickly about. In Barcelona, we saw Messi score a hat trick, and it was like magic. And then the pictures up here from our host in Athens, Vesely. There was an at Olympic Stadium, a World Cup qualifying match for Greece to go on to Brazil if they won the match. He said he would get us a ticket. I didn't know that we would ride to the stadium on the back of his motorcycle at 120 miles an hour, but we did. The Greek president was there, the flags were flying, I was crying, and they won. Wow.
He always cries.
You should get going.
Yeah, I know. So, without you, one more time, we couldn't do what we're doing. We could not be sitting at your kitchen table, finding our next Airbnb. We couldn't be spending the evening watching a movie, reading our books, playing a game, just like we would have done in our own home. It's just, without you, we wouldn't have learned the important things about your country and your city and your politics, without your stories and the time you spend with us. So we really, really, really can't thank you enough for that.
We were humbled by an article that ran in the New York Times in February. We received hundreds of emails from people around the world. Debbie writes a blog. The graph went from family and friends to woo overnight.
Thousands.
You know what we took away from it, from all these emails and the people that contacted us? They were inspired by this story. The story's not about Michael and Debbie Campbell. It's about people trying to decide what to do in retirement. And so we were inspired by them because they were inspired by us. And so many of the people who contacted us in our age group, said that their adult children had sent an email to them kind of like, hey, Mom and Dad, get off your tush. Why don't you be like these people, you know?
Why don't you get out of town, basically?
Get out of town.
I think what that was.
Okay.
So it was the #1 emailed story from the New York Times for a week, and it was, in fact, adult children kind of getting their parents out of the nest. But we have a twist in the tale that's really special for us. We've inspired some young people to do what we're doing. They happen to be very close to home, actually, because members of our own family, now I'm going to cry, have followed in our footsteps and are on the road right now.
So our oldest son, Alistair, and his wife, Jenny, they live in Portland, Oregon with our other 2 grandchildren. And about 6 months ago, they said, we're going to do what you're doing, like we're jealous. And I thought, oh my good Lord, you're like in your early 40s, great careers, you know, kids in school. They said, we're going to take a year off, go around the world. Yeah. Wow. So, and you can follow them on Campbell Amble. I don't know what that hashtag, all that stuff. No, I know what it is. Anyway, if you get a booking request from them, we know that you will treat them as well. I'm going to cry. As you treated us. So, thank you.
So thank you very much.